Episode 42. The Labyrinth of Lost Flames. The Sonoran Desert's valley exhaled a dry, metallic breath as the team approached the Auralith city's gate, a jagged fissure in the basalt spires, its edges etched with glyphs that pulsed with a ghostly amber glow. The air was heavy, charged with an electric hum that prickled their skin, as if the dunes themselves were waking. The stars above burned fierce, Orion's belt a stark arrow in the eye of the serpent, signaling the alignment that would unlock the ruins below. The core, strapped to Kane's back in its quantum-dampened case, thrummed louder, its rhythm a siren's call syncing with the spire's pulse. The crew's faces were taut, eyes shadowed by the desert's toll. Each step toward the fissure a plunge into an abyss where the Auralith's ancient will awaited. Kane led, his dark cargo vest frayed at the seams, its pockets bulging with scavenged tools. His face, dusted with sand, was sharp under the starlight, and his stubbled chin set against the fear clawing his gut. He gripped a pulse lantern, its beam cutting through the fissure's dark. The core's weight was more than physical. It whispered doubts. "You'll be left behind, Kane. Alone. Always." Sadie followed, her silhouette lean and purposeful, her scuffed boots silent on the stone. Her jacket, patched with nanofiber, hung loose, and her wrists bore bracelets of woven cord, a Freeland charm faintly shining through. She studied the glyphs with a historian's hunger and a lover's dread. Aldous moved with a scholar's grace, long coat tattered with its hem trailing like a shroud. He clutched a hollow stylus, sketching glyphs mid-stride. His eyes, hidden behind scratched spectacles, flickered with a father's grief, the desert's echoes stirring memories of loss. Jinx hobbled beside him, his canvas vest patched with duct tape, a rusted compass dangling from his belt. His face was creased like old leather and bore a fresh cut above his brow, blood drying in streaks. Wire guarded their six. The fissure swallowed them, its walls narrowing into a tunnel of polished volcanic rock, their reflections distorted in its glassy surface. Elongated limbs, hollow eyes, specters of themselves. The air grew cold, thick with a metallic tang, and the glyphs flared brighter, their amber light pulsing in sync with the core. They felt a low vibration in the stone, not mechanical, but alive, as if the Auralith's minds lingered in the architecture. The tunnel ended at a circular door, its surface a seamless slab of crystal, etched with a spiral that writhed like a living flame. Kane touched it, and the core's buzz spiked, the spiral igniting in a blaze of gold. The door didn't slide or swing. It dissolved, melting into mist that curled around their ankles, revealing a vast chamber beyond. The chamber was a cathedral of alien tech, its ceiling lost in shadow, its walls lined with towering panels of translucent stone, each shimmering with fractal patterns that shifted like liquid starlight. Crystalline conduits snaked across the floor, pulsing with energy that cast eerie shadows. Shapes of tall, radiant figures, their forms flickering as if caught mid-step. At the chamber's center stood a platform, raised on pillars of black glass, its surface etched with a map of stars and seas, a sister device to the core glinting at its heart. A smaller sphere, its light a deep crimson, throbbing with a rhythm that felt like a warning. The air was alive, whispering in tongues no human throat could form, and the crew's lanterns flickered, their beams bending as if the chamber warped light itself. "This is it," Jinx rasped, his voice a cracked whisper, his compass spinning uselessly. "The Auralith's heart. That device. It's what the core needs to wake up, to reset the ASIs or something worse." Sadie's eyes narrowed, her bracelets clinking as she raised her datapad, its scans glitching. "These panels, they're sentient. Not just tech, minds woven into the stone. They're watching us." Wire's lenses scanned the conduits. Traps, too. Quantum triggers, illusion fields. If we trip or take the wrong step, it's going to be ugly. Kane's heart raced, the core screaming in his skull. "You'll be abandoned here." He gripped the lantern tighter, voice rough. "We grab the device and get out. Stay sharp. The chamber seemed to hear him. The panels flared, their fractals coiling into shapes, eyes, hands, mouths, whispering in unison. Prove your worth. The floor shuddered, and the conduits glowed, their light splitting into beams that wove a gauntlet of illusions, each tailored to the crew's deepest fears. The chamber became a labyrinth, its paths shifting, walls rising and falling, the platform's crimson device a distant taunt. The Auraliths' tech wasn't just guarding the device, it was testing them, probing their souls with visions that cut deeper than any blade. The labyrinth isolated Aldous first, the chamber's walls sealing him in a dome of shimmering mist. The air grew heavy, smelling of damp earth and blood. Before him stood Clara, his daughter, not as he'd last seen her, 8 years old, crushed in the Andes, but grown, her face his own, her eyes accusing. "You left me, father," she whispered, her voice a chorus of echoes, her hands dripping with rubble dust. "You chased ruins and protected your research, not me. You'll lose them, too." Aldous staggered, his spectacles fogging, his stylus falling. The dome became the Andes cave, its walls collapsing, Clara's screams deafening. He clawed at the mist, sobbing. "I tried, Clara. I tried." The vision shifted. Kane, Sadie, Jinx, Wire, all turning away, their faces blank, leaving him buried. Aldous' knees buckled, but his hand found his hollow stylus, its weight a tether. "No," he growled. "I won't fail them." He traced a glyph from memory, its pattern breaking the mist, the dome dissolving. He stumbled forward towards the platform. Jinx's path twisted into a neon-lit alley, Freeland's slums reborn in cruel detail, the stench of burnt soy, the flicker of hollow ads. Mara stood before him, her body whole, but her eyes hollow, blood seeping from a wound he'd failed to stop. "You promise me the stars, Beckett," she said, her voice a knife, her hands unraveling into ash. "You should have been more aware of the road. You let me die. You'll fail them too." The alley became a busy, neon street, a car barreling towards them, and then Mara's scream choking off. Jinx's shock staff sparked, his bandana slipping as he swung at shadows. "I didn't mean to, Mara." The vision morphed, Kane's crew fleeing, their backs to him, the device lost. Jinx roared, his tattoos burning against his skin, and drove his staff into the ground, its pulse shattering the illusion. He emerged, sweat-soaked, the platform's glow nearer. Wire's labyrinth was a sterile lab. Nova reaches under city, its walls lined with neural wipe chambers. His brother, Cal, stood chained, his eyes blank, a Helix enforcer's whip crackling. "You hid, lone wolf," Cal spat, his voice a mechanical drone. "You let them take me. You'll let them take your crew." The lab became a chase, drones hunting Wire through Apex Core's streets, their optics burning. He saw Kane's team captured, their minds wiped, their faces empty. Wire's gloves sparked, his lenses overloading, but he drew his carbine, firing at the enforcer's shadow. "Not again," he hissed, his shot breaking the vision's hold. He staggered into the chamber, the crimson device pulsing ahead. Sadie's path became a Freeland ruin, rain-soaked, the arch where she'd first kissed Kane. He stood there, younger, his eyes cold. "I'm leaving, Sadie," he said, his voice flat, his back turning. "You're not enough." The ruin became a desert, Kane walking away, the crew following, leaving her alone. Her bracelet snapped, her datapad sparking as the vision deepened. Kane's body in the sand, dead, her hands bloodied, unable to save him. "No!" she screamed, waving her pistol at the shadows, her love of fire against the fear. The illusion cracked, her path clearing, the platform's light a beacon. Kane's labyrinth was the cruelest, the chamber's walls melting into a void of black glass, the core's hum a deafening wail. His crew appeared, their faces twisted with disgust. "You're a failure, Kane," Sadie said, her voice venom, her bracelet sparkling as she turned away. We don't need you. Aldis's spectacles flashed. Jinx's tattoos faded. Wire's lenses dimmed. They walked into the dark, leaving him alone. The void became Freeland's slums, his childhood, his father's drunken fist, his mother's empty chair. You're nothing, a total zero, they hissed. Kane's lantern fell, his machete trembling, the fear of abandonment and albatross. I'm enough, he whispered. But the vision deepened. The earth, a draconian farm, skies red with blood, humanity chained, their screams a chorus as alien overlords harvested their souls. Kane saw himself, broken, kneeling in chains, the core shattered, Sadie's body at his feet. The horror was visceral, a future where his failure doomed all. He roared, slashing the machete at the glass, its blade sparking. I won't let it happen! The void shattered. The platform stood blazing before him. The crew converged, battered and raw, their faces etched with the tallest bao. Therese. The lattery widened for me, Glummer, the crimson device pulsing, its light a challenge. The chamber's whispers grew louder. Claim the flame or burn. Kane's hands shook as he reached for the device, the core in his pack screaming in harmony. Sadie's hand steadied his. We're here, Kane. Together. Aldis's spectacles glinted, his voice warm. The Auraliths tested us to prove our will. Jinx's cut bled, his grin defiant. We're tougher than their ghosts. Wire's lenses whirred, his growl steady. Grab it, Voss. You never know how close Helix is to closing in on us. Kane lifted the device, its crimson light merging with the core's glow, a surge of energy shaking the chamber. The panels flared, the conduits roared, and the map on the platform ignited, revealing a new path, coordinates in the Pacific, a final Auralith stronghold. But the chamber trembled, traps waking, the Auralith's will unyielding. The crew bolted, the device in Kane's grip, as the labyrinth collapsed behind them, illusions screaming in their wake. They emerged into the Sonoran night, the spires crumbling, the desert swallowing the gate. The core and device pulsed as one, their light a beacon for Helix's drones, for Gideon's wrath, for Cyrus's hunt. Kane's fear lingered, abandonment, a blood-soaked earth. But his crew's presence was a shield. The Pacific called, a final gauntlet, their fates tied to a flame that could save or doom the world.